Afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is where you're at right now. And we are now doing I believe this is our sixth Facebook Live. I believe it's number six. And so I'm going to ask you guys, as I have every other time, if you could click on the chat box if you're here, say hello, whatever, whoever's on there. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm continually using new technology. I'm trying every time to up the ante a little bit. I got these white things in my ears right now. So if you can hear me, please say hello, give me a thumbs up, let me know, make sure everybody is out there. Great. Well, Glenn, if you can hear me, you're all the way in the UK, so obviously they're working okay. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to do new technology all the time. And I know I'm looking in different directions and things like that. I got multiple monitors up there. Hey, Vince, all the way from are you Calgary or Edmonton? I can't remember, Vince, where you're from. And so, anyway, thanks, Bradley. I appreciate that. And so I'm trying to get all the technology up and going here. A lot of different stuff to look at, a lot of different things. It's funny because on the first email or the first Facebook Live I did, people told me I was looking in a different place. I wasn't looking here, I was looking there. Now I'm trying to look as straight ahead as I can, but I don't think it's going to be good enough because I still got a lot of different technology looking at me. But we'll do the best we possibly can. Jerry, are you in Detroit? Is that where you're at? I'm trying to remember everybody that's on here. And like I said, I always want you guys to keep yelling it out. Oh, Vince, you're in Toronto. I thought you were in Edmonton, or maybe that's when the last time I talked to you, you were in Edmonton with Tim and those guys. But anyway, so Tim and Ray in Edmonton, awesome, very good. And so great to have everybody on here today. I am totally shocked. I am totally shocked. We have done a number of these now, and over 1,000 views on every one of them, which, or maybe one of them doesn't quite have 1,000 views, but a lot of people are responding. And so I'm going to keep doing it because, quite frankly, I'm having a blast doing it. There's no doubt about it. And since we've all gotten together the last, I think it was Friday was the last time I got on here, what was interesting was I've gotten a lot more technology. I now have a Facebook wall. I had a page, but now I got a wall. Don't know what the difference is between the two, but I'm going to ask everybody. I think somebody from my wife or me, should I say, because that's who's helped me with all this technology. If anything that I do is right, then obviously my wife is doing it. If I've screwed something up, then I'm the one handling the technology. So make sure you understand that you always give the boss a big shout out to that. And I know some people wonder, why I call her the boss. Well, it's actually in my phone that way that she's the boss, and I like to have some fun with that. But she's the one that's in charge of all this stuff, and she does an awesome job. And it was quite funny. It was a stressful last 5 minutes because we're trying to get some of the technology changed. And it was one of those things. Why did we wait till 12:55 our time to start changing the technology? But that's the way life is. Sometimes you hurry up and get things done. Go Cowboys. Oh my gosh, that is too funny. Chris, good to see you, my friend. I still have the number 12 Roger Staubach jersey that you guys gave me. So I think that's who I'm talking to here. And so, it's a different Chris. I apologize that. But anyway, the point is a page, a wall, a wall. I got all these different things going on right now. I'm on YouTube. If you haven't had a chance, please like the YouTube channel or sign up. I don't know if I'm supposed to like or whatever. Hopefully you like everything, but I think get on the YouTube channel, be a subscriber there. If you could like the Facebook wall, I would appreciate that. And we'll just keep doing the Facebook page thing because that's at least something I've seen before and I'm comfortable with. All this other stuff is totally new to me. Instagram, doing that as well. I just got my email thing figured out, whereas when I send an email out at the bottom, it says you can connect to me on all these different types of media. So it's always interesting for me to do all of the different technology stuff because I'm not so good at it. And so these obviously, the Facebook page, that's the boss talking there. When it says Jennifer, that's the boss. So it's the Facebook page they need to like. Is that correct? And then they can just subscribe to the YouTube channel. Is that correct? And my wife will probably type in here in just a second because I'm talking to her and she's in another part of the house. So anyway, because she wouldn't want to be on camera. I have no problem being on camera. I kind of enjoy this fun stuff. I'm starting to put together a lot of marketing stuff. For Burbank is the company that I'm doing that for, and which is one of my companies and my companies, I should say, the boss and me. So Jennifer and I, and so this is one of our companies. And the main thing I want you guys to think or to start seeing is you're going to start seeing some stuff coming from me through either emails or some other videos and stuff. So look for that kind of stuff. We're going to be starting up some training things here. It's all going to be based on sales and also some other things with masterminds and stuff like that. And so obviously there's going to be a lot of different things, but Pip is wearing AirPods, yes. And oh, Twitter, that was the other one. Twitter was the other one. Now, over the weekend, I was getting, or my wife was setting up some stuff with Twitter, and I'm not going to use the words that I use, but I made some mistakes, and I didn't know if I should be twitting or twittering, or there were some other words that didn't sound right. And so I'm going to try to keep this PG, but yeah, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And so, yeah, I've got a great mentor, and it's not Dan Shaker, that's for sure. It's somebody way better than that. It's Jennifer Stellick. So I'm going to keep giving the props out to the boss. But yeah, the point I want to make on all of these videos is if whatever you need to do to find me, just let me know. There's one thing we're going to be doing on the Facebook wall. Make sure I got the right terminology. Is if you do a click on there, it's going to ask you some questions. What I'm trying to do, and if you guys could help me out, I don't have current emails for certain people, so I'm trying to get current emails to people so that I can send stuff out to other people. Is that the wall? I hope. I don't even know. That's the page. I don't know okay, it's the page. On the page, not the wall. I'll get this figured out. I'm sure people that are just clicking onto this are going, man, this guy is not very bright. Never said I was the brightest guy in the world. I am coachable. I am teachable. So that's part of it, which we're going to talk about sales and being teachable today. But the point is, if you go to the page, that's where you're going to put the like out there. And on the page, thank you, babe. I appreciate that. On the page, what's going to happen is you're going to get maybe on the messenger side of it, you're going to get some questions from me. All that's doing for me is helping me build up some people that I can email some stuff to. And so I would really like it if you guys could help me with that. If you think anybody else in your network, in your circle, in any way, shape, or form can be helped by any of the things that we're doing here, please shout it out to them, send it out to them, share the video, whatever you need to do. I had some lady that hadn't been on any of these, Pat from Houston, and she got on there and she wanted to see where all the videos were. So she's now, I believe, on the YouTube page. So a lot of stuff out there. Please, if there's anybody that you know that can be helped by this stuff, most important part, now Jennifer's putting all kinds of things in the chat, Instagram, great. I'm not sure that I need more people to get in touch with me and more let me rephrase that. I'm not sure I need more places for people to get in touch with me, because now I just have to figure out how to keep that all organized. So I'm going to do the best I can. What do they say? You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, here you go. I'll be the old dog, and I'm trying some new tricks here. And so what I want to make sure that we're doing today is we're going to be talking about body language, compassionate selling, those kinds of things. And I think you made the kids watch. That is too funny, Christy. So I may have to even sing a song before this is all over at some point, because Christy has asked a couple of requests from me. And I know some of you guys won't even know this on here, because most people don't know some of them, some about the things that I do, because I don't share probably as much as I need to. Lonnie, good to see you, my friend. You still living in New York City area, or are you down in Florida now? I know you were working on some properties down in Florida. And so make sure you guys understand that you may hear people ask for things that you didn't even know I did. So Christy is asking about me singing a song that I sang. My goodness, it's probably 20 years ago, Christy. I think Riley was just a baby when I did it. Maybe she was a little girl, so maybe it was 2003 or 4, somewhere in that area. You may know better, Christy, because you obviously remember that day. And I didn't have to. I sang a song at our church for a Christmas service called Christmas Shoes. And it's kind of a sad song. Actually, it's a very sad song, but it's a great song. My son used the 2 years in one mouth quite in the, oh, this is awesome. This is so good, because the 2 ears in one mouth go right into what I'm going to talk about today, which is compassionate selling. And a lot of people talk about body language. And I have to say that I've seen a lot of people teach sales, heard a lot of sales concepts over the years. And I'd have to say 99% of them I dislike, and probably to the extent of maybe hating them. Because I hear this all the time. Coffee's for closers. You got to be a closer. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's an old movie, Jack Lemmon's in it, Alec Baldwin, and Glenn Ross, I think, is the name of it. It's got a strange name. And I'm sure Bradley or Dan can give you the name out there. But in that movie, and you can do just the YouTube clip of it, and it's probably got profanity in it, but Alec Baldwin has a classic clip where he talks about coffee is for closers. And what he's basically saying is if you can't close, you can't sell. I totally disagree with that mentality, because that to me is the antithesis, the opposite. Let's try to not use a big word right now, Pip. The opposite of compassion. Because I think if you're trying to sell something to somebody who doesn't want it, then you're not in sales. You're just pushy, and nobody wants that. Now, if you've got to do what I would call a cold call, and I'm going to use an example. I'm going to use a perfect example. My wife and kids and I were at the Mall of America. And if you ever go to the Mall of America or any of the big malls, out in the middle of the malls are all these kiosks. And the people that are in the middle of those kiosks, they don't have a product that you need. You aren't going up to them to try to buy something. Now, if I walk into Dick's Sporting Goods, there's a good chance I need something from that store. I need shoes or a shirt or whatever, tennis balls, whatever it is I'm buying that day. So when I go in there, I have a desire to buy something. So that's a warm lead. That's a warm sell. You still have to be compassionate about that. But let's talk about cold sales for just a second. If you're standing in the middle of a mall kiosk and you're walking by that as a customer, that person who's at that kiosk doesn't have a product that you need. Now, they may have a product that you want, but I thought it was interesting, and I may tell the story incorrectly, but we walked by this kiosk, my wife and my two daughters and myself, Mall of America. And whoever it was, young lady, young man, doesn't matter, basically said, hey, would you like to see a cool new hairdryer? Now, my wife and kids didn't need a new hairdryer, and with the length of my hair, I don't even need a dryer. I can use a towel, and I'm just fine. Hairdryer works as good as well. But did they need a hairdryer? The answer is no. So they weren't a warm lead. So instead of saying, let me show you the best hairdryer you're ever going to need, let me show you the last hairdryer you're ever going to want, that's not what they said. They said, hey, would you like to see a cool hairdryer? And obviously that was enough to get my wife and kids over there to look at the hairdryer, and we ended up buying a hairdryer. Don't even know anything about the hairdryer. Don't even know if we still got the hairdryer. All I know is we spent more than we normally would on a hairdryer because of the way that the person sold us the product. And it wasn't about twisting anybody's arm. It was about showing them, is this something you might be interested in? It wasn't like, you need to have this. And I think that goes down to compassionate sales first and foremost. You can be compassionate and sell cold sales, if you want to call it that. If you know what I'm talking about with cold sales, it's when you don't have a product that somebody already wants. If you're working in a car dealership, I do seminar sales. If somebody comes into our seminar, they want something. They're already a customer. They want something that we have. If you're just clicking on, I see more people coming on the live link, say hello. I love to see who's on there because it's so important for me to have that interaction. Without the interaction, the energy goes down. I thought it was funny. If you go back and anybody has a chance to look at the very first Facebook Live that I did, for the first, I'm going to say 10 or 15 minutes, I felt like it was me talking to the computer. It was me talking to the computer. And then when I figured out how I could scroll down and see who was actually on the chat box over here, when I actually saw that, then I started scrolling through it. My energy level went off the charts. Amit, how are you doing? All the way from Toronto. And so the point is, what happens is that interaction helps me out exponentially. So I appreciate you just saying hi. And Christy, when you say that your kids are using just a tip or a trick that we're talking about here, that to me makes it exponentially easier. AC Johnson. Now, I have to say this. There were a lot of people that have sent some really nice comments. And Christy, I'm going to come back to you. I know I get off topic, but I'll come back. There are a lot of people that have sent me emails, sent me messages on Facebook, all this kind of stuff, and said things like, you changed my life. The training I went to with you was amazing. It's, my whole family's life has changed from it. I'm going to do a shout out to that little guy by the name of AC Johnson. He knows he's not a little guy, he's bigger than me. But AC Johnson was one of the people that changed my life. And so I'm going to shout that out to him. And I'm almost emotional just thinking about this because I haven't talked to AC in years. Sometimes your paths come together and sometimes they come apart. And if one thing that has been cool about this, Jesus, oh, awesome to have you on there, buddy. One thing that is so cool for me is to be able to see some people that I haven't seen in a long time. And so to see AC on here totally just made my day. Not that seeing you, Dan Shaker, didn't make my, well, actually, that didn't make my day at all, Dan Shaker. But AC, it does make my day to see you. Because AC taught me some really cool stuff. And I can give you a million different AC things that I learned over the years. Your microphone is always on. That was one that I always remember. He always used to like talk about your DNA and this DNA. Well, I've got a little bit of the DNA that AC gave me, and that has made me a better person. And so I truly believe that this is what it's all about, is paying it forward. So Christy, I'm coming back to where I stopped off. If I can say something that one of your kids can use, then my gosh, this whole Facebook Live thing was worth it. Because to me, it's about getting the information that somebody was kind enough to share with me. Maybe I purchased it from somebody else, but if I can then share that with the next group of people, that's what we're on this earth, and that's what it's all about. And so I think it's imperative to keep passing it on. And that's why I'm telling you guys, share this information. If you would have asked me when I started these Facebook Lives that Christy Cosgrove would have told me that she was giving this information to her kids and they were using it then, I would have said, you're nuts. I haven't talked to Christy in probably 12 or 14 years. Yet that is the cool part about it. Now I can give you all kinds of stories about Christy. Christy's probably, I'm going to say 5, 6 years younger than me. And we used to have a grocery store. And yeah, I'm going to go off on a tangent. I'm going to come back to compassionate selling, but I got to do this. We used to have a grocery store, and Christy's older sister, Angie, worked at the store. She was good friends with my brothers. And so Christy came in with her sister, Angie, one night, and we were in the produce section of the grocery store. And Christy was pretty impressionable at this point. I'm going to say she was probably 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. So that puts me maybe a 9th or 10th grader in high school, that kind of thing. Well, one of the things that I can do, not very well, but I can do it, is I can juggle. And so I was juggling, I believe, 3 or 4 different, or 3 items, different types of items. Because, I mean, anybody can juggle, I should say anybody, but a lot of people can juggle 3 oranges. That's not that exciting. But when you can juggle a grape, an orange, and a small watermelon and keep it going, that's pretty cool. And Christy was pretty amazed about that. Used to juggle tomatoes. I've juggled lots of things. And I believe the comment happened that Christy was told by her sister, my older brother, that I was in the circus. And so I thought that was an interesting story. Now, I don't know if Christy ever believed it, but yes, I did have a little bit of skill with juggling. But the point I want to make is with compassionate selling, and I know I'm going to keep coming back to that, is that what we have to understand is we've got to sell something that a customer wants, not what they don't want. I know a lot of times salespeople think they got to close and give something to somebody or sell something to somebody just to sell them, to meet some quota, to meet some number. I totally disagree with that. If I'm talking to Lonnie and he does not have something, let me rephrase it. If I don't have something that Lonnie needs, there's no reason for me to be trying to sell him anything. I can share stories with him, and then if he asks me about a product that I have, now maybe I have the open door. But that's what it comes down to, is using questions. Always using questions. And that's what compassionate selling is. It isn't putting stuff in, it's taking stuff out. And so if you keep using Lonnie because I know he's on here, and Lonnie has literally sent me, Lonnie, give me an idea how many emails you've sent me in the last, I'm going to say 30, 60, 90 days. Let's go 90 days. And so, Lonnie, if you're still on here, that's awesome. But the point I want to make is it's about helping other people get something that they want. That's what the transportation business is, helping people get from where they're at to where they want to be. And that's what we want to do with sales. I'm not going to sell somebody a product they don't want. If I could give anybody a tip on here, we'll call this a little tipper from the pipper. Haven't pulled that one out yet for a while. Boy, that didn't sound good, but we'll keep right on going here. Bradley's probably dying that I just said that. But it's okay. We call them tips from Pip. How about that? And so we're going to have some fun with this. And so if I could give you one thought, if I could give you one very, very specific thought, let's say that you're in sales. And I don't know what everybody on here does. I know a lot of you guys in here are in real estate. I completely get that. There are some people that maybe do mortgages. There might be some people that are in jewelry sales, that are in other types of sales. And so I always tell people, and I'm sure I've said this maybe on other videos, but I am going to say it again, because repetition is the key to learning. And if you hear it once, that means you got to have to hear it 5, 6, 7 times before you ever remember it. And so what I want you guys to think about, what I want you guys to think about is when you're telling somebody what you do, don't be scared to tell them you're in sales. I used to stand up in front of anywhere from tens, 20, 40, even 5, 6,000 people. And one of the first things I would say, Sandy, are you from LA? If I can remember. I haven't seen you on here before. So Sandy, let me know. Are you from LA? I would stand up in front of groups of people and I'd raise my hand and I would say, how many of you guys think I'm going to sell you something this weekend? And only, a person who is confident in their product, only a person who's confident in their ability to help other people would say that. Because what do most salespeople do? They're kind of hiding behind the fact that they're in sales. And I've told you, I apologize, Sandy, I didn't know, couldn't remember. And so I really don't know. Maybe I haven't met Sandy before. So if you're new this time, Sandy, great to have you. And so when you're telling somebody you're in sales, it's okay. So let me give you an example. If I was working at a car dealership and you came up to me, I might introduce myself. Hi, my name is Pip. How can I help you tonight? And what do many people say? I'm just looking. Oh, very nice. I don't think we've met, Sandy. Great to have you here. And so what I was wanting to make sure you guys think about is if I say, hi, my name's Pip, how can I help you today? If that other person is walking in the car dealership, they're there because they want a car. Now, what are they going to say 99 times out of 100? Oh, I'm just looking. Here's how, and what do most salespeople say? Well, I'll tell you what, if you need anything, just let me know. That's how most people approach that interaction. I would never say that. If somebody said, I'm just looking, I'd say, well, you know what? As I said, my name is Pip. I'm in sales, and I'm looking to sell stuff tonight. And what I'm looking to sell is a car. And if you're not interested in it, I completely understand. But if you need help purchasing a vehicle, I'm the guy to help you with that. I am not hiding behind I'm in sales. And what I think 99.9% of the people are amazed by is that you're that upfront with them. That you have no problem saying, I'm in sales and I'm proud to tell you I'm in sales. See, I think it's sad. I think it's really too bad that people are scared of sales. Because quite frankly, we all buy stuff every day. And if somebody doesn't sell you whatever it is you're buying, you got nothing to buy. And so it is okay to be in sales. Constantly give value. Constantly make sure that you're compassionate about it. Make sure that you're passionate about your product, but you have compassion for what the customer wants. Listen, lead, link. You're always listening to everything that they say. You're making notes. So I think it's important that you never hide behind the fact that you're in sales. Let people know from the very beginning that you're in sales, and they will appreciate that way more times than people that are upset that you're in sales. Oh my gosh. No, I know. It's okay. I'm in sales. And there's nothing wrong with that. Which means it leads me way back to the very beginning when we started these a few weeks ago or a couple weeks ago. Every one of us is in sales every time, no matter whether you're a mom, a dad, a brother, sister, whatever it is you do, preacher, teacher, you're in sales. We all sell every day, and that's okay. Don't hesitate to explain that to people. Don't hesitate, don't hide behind it, and you're going to be okay. I'm trying to sell you guys something right now. What is it? A thought, an idea, some experience that I've had. I am shocked to even think that 1,000 people watch these videos at any time that I've done one. Because I'm never sure that I have anything to give to somebody else. But if I do, it's out there now, and I'm going to continue to give it because, quite frankly, that's what this is all about, is helping other people get from where they're at to where they want to be. So I think it's cool to let people know, lead with sales, lead with that, and you're going to be okay. Because what did we say a few times ago on these calls or on the Facebook Live? We're not in sales, we're in service. Sales is a 5-letter word, and so serve. So we need to continue to serve the people that we sell products to. And that comes down to the next part of compassionate selling, which is going to be that follow-up. Now, before I get into that, I said I'd talk a little bit today about body language. I think what you just heard is you're going to see that their body language changes. If I go up to a hotel clerk and I'm wanting to check into the hotel, who's in the sales role there, them or me? Well, we both are, quite frankly, because I am trying to get some information from the sales clerk. If I'm at a restaurant, if I'm at a restaurant and a waiter or waitress comes up to me, who's in sales there, the waiter or the waitress? We both are. This is the body language that we talk about. So the most important part of body language that you can ever have is right here. It's the smile. When you smile, it comes through in your voice. You cannot say anything with a smile on that doesn't sound like you're happy. I cannot stress that enough. I mean, I could literally say, man, Dan Shaker, I really don't like you at all. But at least it sounds like I'm happy about it. So the first thing we need to do is to put a smile on our face, because if you put a frown on your face, you can say the nicest thing in the world, but your energy exponentially goes down when you frown. There's a reason those two words rhyme. Yeah, a frown is down. And so that is why your energy goes down, is because when you say, man, Haley, you're the coolest person I've ever seen, it comes through in your voice. Try to say something with a smile on your voice or smile on your face and it not come out that way. It doesn't matter what you say. Yeah, you've got to have a smile on your face. So the first thing we always need to do for body language is smile. That's the one thing you can give that most people will give back to you. And I know people are going to comment and say, well, Pip, if I got a mask on, how can I smile? You smile with your eyes as much as you do your face. Because you notice when you smile, it shows in your eye. Your eyes get different. I've had a big challenge. I've had a big challenge with smiling with the mask on. There's no doubt about it. But I've noticed I used to look at people's mouths when I would smile at them. But now when I smile at them, I look at their eyes because I can't see their mouth. My wife also told me I not only look better in the dark, but I look better with a mask. I don't think that's a comment coming from your wife. By the way, gentlemen, I don't think it is. And so when you smile, it's also in your eyes. So don't give me, you can make money, you can make excuses in this world, but you can't do both. So if you're in sales, you want to make money. I totally believe that. So one of the excuses I get, well, I can't see their mouth, so I can't see if they're smiling. I say, that's a bunch of crap. You can see their smile in their eyes. And if you give that smile out, they'll give it back to you 99% of the time. Now, the point I want to make with that is that's the first piece of body language that you have. Now, when you lead with service, when you lead with the fact that you're in sales, their body language is going to change exponentially. Because what is a person's body language when they think you're going to sell them something? They're already backing up. Now, whether you shake their hand, you bump their elbow, if you wave at them, you bow, I don't care what your culture or our culture is going to be in the future with that. If you smile and you tell people, I'm going to try to sell, I'm here to help sell you something, and it's okay. I hope you want to buy something. I sell things because that's how I feed my family, and there's nothing wrong with saying that. And so I think it's imperative. I think it's imperative that you're always using that smile, that you're always telling people what you do for a living, and that's okay. Even if you're not trying to sell them something, be upfront with what you're trying to communicate with a smile on your face, and I'm going to say 99.9% of the time it's going to be all right. You're going to get what you want out of that person. Now, don't make it be a fake smile. It's got to be genuine, but let people know you care about them. What's the old saying? People don't care what you know until they know that you care. So if you care about people, that's going to come through just by that smile. And that's what the compassionate part that I talk about. Compassionate selling is body language, but you might have thought it was a posture. You may have thought it was a strong handshake. We talked about handshakes. Most important thing you can do for body language is smile. Yeah. If you smile, people are going to be so engulfed with that. They're going to want more of whatever it is you have. If you lead with that frown, if you lead with bad attitude, that's going to come back to you over and over and over again. So I cannot stress enough. Most important part of body language is right in between your ears. I've said that multiple times. Good Lord gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that ratio. But if you can smile 10 times more than you frown, nothing's going to change everything's going to change your life. Nothing's going to be a problem because you're going to be able to overcome them. I think it's really cool to be able to keep it so simple, because when I got into any sales thing, people wanted to make it very complicated. And he wanted to talk about these closing strategies and this closing strategy. When it's all said and done, Judy, how are you doing, young lady? When it's all said and done, if you smile and you answer the questions and you ask questions and you listen to what they say, they're going to give you a purchase. They're going to give you whatever, acceptance of whatever service you're wanting to deliver. I don't think it's hard to smile. I think it's hard to keep your mouth shut sometimes. But if you can keep your mouth shut and smile and listen to what people are telling you, you'll be amazed at the results you get when you sell something. So sales is serving. Serving is selling, and we're going to keep moving back and forth on that topic. So I can't believe it. I'm only 30 minutes in, and I'm getting ready to be done for the day. I guess maybe I was able to get the point across quicker than I normally do. Of course, we're not done with this video yet, but I'm looking to wrap up right now. And so I think I'm going to go back to it. We've done 5 of these videos, and most all of them, Haley Keener, Houston, Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I've already messed up on a couple of people today. Haley, I'm going to say you're from Texas. Houston, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm in Houston. Tell me if that's right, Haley. I hope you're listening, or you can at least answer that for me. If I get this wrong, I think I'm 0 for 3 on the day. So it's never perfect, but what's the point I'm trying to say? It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to think somebody's from someplace, and guess what? They'll forgive you for at least trying. I'll give you a perfect story, a perfect example of this. I had the opportunity to teach sales and real estate and all kinds of mentorship and mindset and things like that all across the world. One of the places I had the opportunity to go to is Montreal. And if you go to Montreal, they knew that we were coming there to do a presentation, and they knew it was going to be in English, and they knew that all of us were English-speaking people that were going to be there. And so it wasn't like it was a secret. But somebody said to me, they said, you just have to give them some effort. So what's the effort? My effort here is hopefully trying to remember that Haley is from Houston. Haley hasn't responded yet, so maybe she just clicked on and she clicked right off. I have no idea. That's her call. She can do that. But the point I want to make is I'm going to make the effort. So they told me in Montreal, you got to make the effort to speak French. I have like 2 weeks to prepare to go to Montreal to speak French. How much can you learn in 2 weeks? Well, maybe if you're a smart person, you can learn quite a bit. What I figured was if I could just not close them, but open them. You're craving crepes, Steve Awesome. If I could open, but not necessarily close them, they would remember it. So I didn't worry about trying to find a closing sales technique in French. What did I worry about? How about an opening? Because when you open, people remember that. People remember the first and last thing you say. Most of the stuff in the middle, they forget. So in that middle, that's what we're talking about right now. But what's the opening that I used? And so what I did is I memorized one thing in French. I said, je regrette beaucoup. Je ne peux pas français, parlez-vous anglais? Now, when I stood up in front of the room of people on Friday morning, I was going to be in front of them for 3 solid days. That was the first thing I said. I'll do it again because I know most people won't believe that I can even do that. Je regrette beaucoup. Je ne peux pas français, parlez-vous anglais? I kid you not, most every time that I was in Montreal teaching, I would get an applause for that because they knew I was an American. That was nothing hidden there whatsoever. But yet, what did I do? I tried to do something that could acclimate me with their culture. And so, what did I actually say there? I said, I'm very sorry. Is that compassion? Yes. So that was what I led off with, was compassion. I'm very sorry. I can't speak French. Do you speak English? That's what I said. And how did all of them answer me when I said that? So I said that sentence or question, 3 sentences, that question. Do you speak English was my last question on that. And they all said, we, and applauded. I never had a problem with connecting with the French Canadian audience. Now, I was told, and some of my Canadians on here will probably know better than I do, that French Canadians can be a little tough, maybe a little cold on the edges kind of thing. And so that is why I did that, is because I knew I had to warm up to them. How do you warm up to 75 people that you've never met before? Lead with compassion. I'm very sorry, I don't speak French. Do you speak English? That's what I said. And I cannot stress enough, the results that we had in Montreal were exponentially different because not of a closing technique, it was an opening technique. So if you want to talk about sales, if you want to be better at sales, it's all about the compassion and getting to know people, know a little bit about them. I've had the opportunity to speak to different groups, do some keynote speeches and things like that. In fact, Vince, I think I'm doing some keynote speech for you guys this Saturday night, if I'm not mistaken, for Tim Sy and his group. And so, Vince, make sure you let everybody know that I'm going to be doing that because I want to make sure there's a bunch of people on there. We're going to have a lot of interaction, have some fun. Now, the one thing I've noticed is when you do a keynote, I know when you're speaking with people, you're speaking in groups of people, especially if they know each other, if you can find 1 or 2 key people in that group that everybody knows, that everybody likes to make fun of, kind of like Dan likes to do that with me. He loves to make fun of me. Vince, you're making my day. And so if you can find somebody to connect to in that group, I mean, I didn't know AC Johnson was going to be on this call today. He may be off that call by now, but all I know is that made my day because that was a connection he made with me. Man, it was 18 years ago. 18 years ago is when I met AC. It would be 18 years in December of this year. See, isn't that amazing? When somebody changes your life, you know exactly when it was. December, I don't remember the exact day of the week. I could go back and find it. I'm going to say like the 14th. It was the second weekend in December, basically. I met AC Johnson that weekend, and it was life-changing for me. And then I got to do a lot more work with AC as I moved forward and did some more stuff. But he was one of my first mentors in real estate, and it totally blew me away. And so for me to hear this stuff, Vince Lee, well, I'm sure, Rebecca, you can talk to Vince and figure that out. AC's still there. AC, since you're here, and since I'm way under on my normal time, usually I'm 50 to 60 minutes on these. AC, your first wholesale class that you taught, you and Margie were in Dallas with Jimmy Reed, and there was just a big switchover going on at that point. I know there was a lot of hectic stuff going on with the company that you were contracting for at the time, but that was the first time I met you. I know you may not remember me, but I remember that was the first time I met you, and that was in a real crazy wholesale assignment class in Dallas, Texas. Jimmy Reed and AC, I met you guys there, and also Margie. And Margie was actually on one of my earlier Facebook Lives, and I made the comment about that exact same thing. So these people touched me in a way that I literally have never started this whole process before that has really changed my life. So if I can go out there and make a difference in anybody's life, then that is awesome. That just makes my day. And so, Christy, when you said your son, and I don't know which one of your kids used some of the 2 ears in 1 mouth, I really think it's imperative that you guys keep doing those things. Lead with compassion, lead with serving, tell people you're in sales. It's okay. Nobody's going to be upset with you because you're being honest with them. I think what salespeople tend to do is they try to lead with other stuff, and people don't like that. People don't want to be sold. But if you tell them right up front, I think I'm going to sell you something, don't be scared of it. I think they're going to be okay with that. Because quite frankly, most people come to see you because they want to buy something. They want to buy something. Somebody tried to, and I don't know what the right word is, probably sell is the best word, a multi-level marketing company today. And the issue with multi-level marketing companies is that there's a lot of them out there, and I'm not knocking them. They're great sales training for many people. They get you out of your comfort zone. Why am I doing Facebook Live videos? I'm out of my comfort zone. I'm working on doing some funnel marketing right now. and I am so out of my comfort zone. I actually sent an email to some of my business partners this morning because I wasn't happy about it. Don't like the whole process. Totally making me uncomfortable. But that's good because when you're uncomfortable, you're growing. See, I've never, ever once in my life got a sore muscle from lifting a can of soda. But boy, if I put a 30-pound, 40-pound weight in there and I do that a few times, that gives me a sore muscle. So I know it's growing. So it's okay that you're a little bit out of your comfort zone when you're selling something. But this lady, she called me from Perth, Australia to do a multi-level marketing thing. And Caroline is one of my favorite people. I love her to death. Glenn knows Caroline. If Glenn, I think Glenn's probably still on here. Glenn knows Caroline, and some other people on here might know her. Masuk knows Caroline. And the nice part about Caroline is when she sold her service, her product, she didn't lead with the product. She led with compassion. And what did that do? That totally changed the way I look at it, because as soon as you think somebody's calling you about selling you something, your butt cheeks just squeeze together. Yes, I've used that term more than once on these now, but that's how it happens. You just kind of squeeze together because you don't want to be sold. But when somebody leads with compassion, somebody leads with helping you, with questions, and they listen to you, and they don't try to push something on you, you're going to get a lot better result. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today. I'm 20 minutes early from what I have been on the last couple. Yeah, isn't Caroline awesome? She's amazing. So I'm going to say this because I guess this is the sales part of this. This is the commercial side of this. Please do me a favor, and if you got an email from me to like my Facebook page, I hope I got that right. Please do so. I would greatly appreciate that. I don't understand the whole Facebook thing. Why do I got to have a page? Why do I got to have a wall? Why do I have to have all these different things? But hey, you know what? They're the big company and I got to jump through their hoops. Nobody ever, asked me about technology, and that's the technology that they have. So I'm going to run with it. I'm going to do what they asked me to do. So if you could like the Facebook page, if you could friend me on Facebook, I think if you're on here, Pip, stop talking about, okay, I'll do my best. And so if you're on here, I think you're obviously a friend with me, but do me a favor, send this out. Okay, Peter, you want me to keep going with this training? So if you have a question, put it on there, Peter. I'll be happy to address it. I can go for 10 hours without taking a break. It was always funny because I would do these trainings, and now I'm off on a tangent, so we're not going to be done in 2 minutes. I would do these trainings. They're 3-day trainings that I would always do. And they would start at 9 in the morning and get done at 6 at night. We would do many times an hour for lunch, and that was about it. But they didn't go from 9 to 6. No. I would get there 7 or 7:30. Students would start getting there at 8 o'clock. And students would stay many times till 7, 8, or 9 o'clock at night, sometimes later. And that entire time, we'd be talking and then answering questions. And so what that means is there were times when I didn't take I'm going to say a bathroom break, a washroom break for my Canadians, a toilet break for my UK guys that are on the phone, a loo for other people. I don't even know what everybody calls it something different. And people are like, how do you do that? Well, it's called passion. When you enjoy what you're doing, the time just starts clicking right on by. And so I think it's imperative, and I'm not even sure where I was going with that. How do you warm up? Who won't warm up or engage? Steve, here's my opinion. They don't want your product. That's the takeaway from them. If this is not for you, my friend, then by all means. From New Zealand, Amanda, that is so awesome. It must be really early in the morning right now. Yeah. So some of you, Steve's question there. One of the things that we would do is, for those of you guys that don't know what I've done in the past, some of you guys know exactly what I'm doing. Most of you guys met me through this channel. Some of the guys from Nebraska, and ladies, I should say, I'm supposed to not say guys. Some of the people from Nebraska City that are on here, some of my high school friends and some of those people that I knew from the grocery store may not even know exactly what I do because I've never done a presentation in Nebraska City. Heck, I've never even done the presentation that I do in Omaha or Lincoln, to be quite honest. I just never have. Anyway, so I've done this one presentation all around the world. And we would a lot of times get very negative people in the room. However, they were still in the room. So what does that mean? I know that I'm not a big fan of cars, so going car shopping is not exciting for me. Some of the people on this call will love going to car shop. I can't stand it. I'll do anything other than go look at cars. I don't like them. It's not. I mean, it's not that exciting to me. And so when we have to go car shopping, because now I've got a wife and I've got 2 kids. My oldest kid is now 18. My youngest one is 15. And so we've been car shopping a lot lately in the last 3 years. And so every time I go in there, I don't want to be in there. So I am that guy that won't warm up. But what's the point? I'm there because I want something. So it always amazes me when somebody has a cold customer in there. I'll use the hotel rooms that we used to be in. What would you do with that? You would kill them with kindness. Yeah, my youngest daughter told us, this is funny because you don't know until you start getting in conversations sometimes. But my youngest daughter, her name is Carson. I'm going to come back to killing with kindness because I'm going in different tangents here. But my youngest daughter, my oldest daughter, Riley, brings over her new boyfriend to meet us. It's been a month or two ago, whatever it's been, a couple months ago. And so 2 Kiwis on there. And then Glenn, who's kind of a transplanted Kiwi. So I got 3 Kiwis. And what's funny is, and here I go on another tangent, 4 Kiwis, another one. This is awesome. And so I've been in other countries, and I've called New Zealanders Kiwis, and they think it's kind of this derogatory term. So for all my Kiwis on there, it's okay to call you Kiwis, correct? They're the ones that say it on a regular basis. So I'm not using a derogatory term. They're the ones that call themselves Kiwis. So anyway, going back to killing them with kindness, I think when you have a negative person come into your place of business, in our instance, it was always a hotel, conference room, ballroom, whatever you want to call it. And they would come in on Friday morning. And I could give you multiple examples. Steve, we had a person in Orlando a few years ago that she came in and she was just nasty. From the start, from her hello was nasty. And on Friday morning, I went up to her and shook her hand. I introduced myself, gave her a smile. I said, what are you expecting out of the next couple of days? And the interesting thing about it, by the end of the weekend, she had purchased one of our training packages. I've seen her at multiple trainings since then. And she literally loves everything about what we have and what we do. And so my goal is to always kill the negative people with kindness. Not kill them. The negative people, kill them with kindness. That didn't sound right to start with. And so I always want to make sure we're doing that. So if you've got a negative person, just kill them with kindness. Realize that they're the ones having the bad day, not you. And if you can help them have a better day, then you've just done an awesome job for everybody in that interaction. So I know I keep getting this. How do you keep having the fun and the smile and all the energy? It's because when I get a question like that, and if I can be of any value, and Steve's been in sales longer than I have, so it's not like Steve doesn't know that, but I think it's helpful for everybody to hear that, because I think what we do a lot of times with a negative customer, we either avoid them or try to get them away from us as quickly as possible. And my opinion is, and this is going to sound a little mushy kind of thing, but when somebody is really negative, they just need a bigger hug. I'm not even a hugger, but you understand what I'm talking about. If somebody's having a bad day, if somebody is not in a good mood, the best way that you can help them get in a better mood is to put yourself in a good mood. One of my Instagram videos, I do quotes of the day on Instagram, so please follow me on there. There's another commercial for you. I know I won't get the quote perfectly right, but it says, catch on fire with enthusiasm. Catch on fire with enthusiasm. People will show up just to watch you burn. And so they want to see your enthusiasm. It's contagious. I've had people say to me on the comments on this Facebook stuff, is that Pip, I love the fact that you're involving us, that you're pulling us in. And that's why I want the comments. I'm fine with the questions, as long as you understand this could go for hours at a time. And so I love that interaction, because we as people, we're interactive beings, whatever you want to call us. And a lot of us, me included, have been caged up for about 5 months here. That's why I'm doing this. I used to go out twice a month all around the world and teach people and talk to people and speak in front of groups of people. I haven't done that since March. I need an audience. That is what I've noticed in my life. We can do all the real estate properties you ever want to do, but at the end of the day, if you're not doing something that you love, you're going to need to scratch that itch. And the itch I have is to be out there talking to people. So that's why I'm doing this. And so, Carol, I think you said it's the national bird of New Zealand. So that's why it's not derogatory in any way. But Kiwis, some of the best people in the world. I've got the opportunities to meet some really cool people, and I'm glad that you guys are making comments on here. I really enjoy this. What time is it in New Zealand right now? Is it got to be like 6 in the morning? Something like that? 7, 8 in the morning? I'm guessing you're probably, I'm looking at my clock, it's 2 o'clock, almost my time. So what are you, about 17 hours ahead of me? So is it 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning? Let me know. I don't even know for sure. You guys can tell me. People from Nebraska are a bit aggressive. I don't live in Nebraska anymore. And by the way, Dan Shaker, Mr. Ohio, the Cornhuskers play, what are they called? The Buckeyes? What's a Buckeye? That's something that 6:50 a.m. You guys are awesome getting up that early. The Buckeyes of Ohio State, first game in the Big Ten, and I'm sorry that Ohio State is going to suffer their first loss of the year at the hands of the Cornhuskers. So go Big Red. It is now 50 minutes in. Had a blast today. Tomorrow, don't know exactly what time we're going to do this. In fact, I'm not going to do it till Wednesday. I've got other meetings I'm going to be on all day tomorrow. So Wednesday, we're going to do the next Facebook Live. I will probably try to do it Wednesday. I'm going to go a little bit later in the day. I think Wednesday, I'm looking at my calendar. I always do this right on at the time I'm sitting here. My wife thinks I need to do this ahead of time. So I'm going to go Wednesday, late afternoon. Or early afternoon for me. Let's do 2 o'clock Central Time, 3 o'clock Eastern Time. If you can do me a favor, please, when you love what you do, it's hard to not want to share it with everyone. Michelle, all the way from, I believe you're from Wichita, so we live pretty close to each other. I'm going to guess I live closer to the Nebraska City people than I do Wichita. So either way, you're one of the closest people, Michelle. That's awesome to have you on here. My Kiwis are probably the furthest away. Actually, if anybody from Perth is on here, they're further away than the Kiwis. And so anyway, friend me or like my Facebook page. I'll get that. Like my Facebook page. Sandy's going, you said goodbye 20 minutes ago. I know, it takes me a while. Like the Facebook page, if you will. Please tell your friends about it if there's anything that they can get out of this. I'm thinking it's cool that I've got some young people watching this stuff. Because the one thing I can say about any information, any education, the younger you can get it, the better. Not that we can't teach old dogs like me new tricks. Here I am on Facebook. But what you can do is you can utilize the information much better or much easier when you're younger because you're able to make changes. It's harder for old guys and like myself to change things. So please like the page. Go on to Instagram. Follow me there. I don't know. I think that's what you call it. Follow me there. I'm on Twitter now. Don't know what that even means. So if you want to tweet from me or whatever, don't expect me to tweet right back if I'm using the right terminology, I hope. Because I'm a big fan of text and email. So all this other stuff is new. So I'm obviously having some fun with it. But please make sure you guys are on the Twitter, do the Facebook page, and share this video with other people. As I've said every other time when we get done with these, old dog. I think you might even be older than me, AC. We're at least close to the same age. I'm thinking you might be a little bit older. I think you're older. You're one of my brother's ages, if I remember right. Anyway, so AC, are you still in Raleigh area? Is that correct? If you are, just let me know or send me a private message or whatever. Anyway, so like I like to say every time that I get done with these, we need to keep sending the positive vibes out there. And I truly believe if you continue to lead with passion, you continue to lead with service, sales will just come right along. Smile every time, you're going to be just fine. Turn a person beside you and say you're going to be all right, because that's what it's all about. Go out, find somebody you don't know, somebody you do know, flight attendant, anybody you see today, tomorrow, the next day. Just look at them and say you're going to be all right. You guys have a great day. We will see you Wednesday. 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. Have a good one, guys. Please share this video with as many people as you can. Have a good day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.